Hello, John.
You know what?
And you can see there, yesterday there was chaos in the Dáil, and today Micheál Martin has been elected as the Taoiseach. I want to talk about yesterday. Verona Murphy has been, she's elected up as her first day in Dáil Eireann as a Ceann Comhairle. Okay, I did say before here that everybody's entitled to a good first day. She had the worst first day that you could ever see in your whole life. The opposition, the people on the left mostly, and heckling her or whatever. Um, so she was born in 1971. She's an independent TD. She left school at 15. She's one of 11 children. She done her leaving certs at age 35. She's a bachelor's, a BA in law. She was president of the Irish Road Haulage Association, and she was once a member of Fine Gael. She's fairly new to politics. She doesn't have a long history in politics at all. Okay. And she lost control of the House yesterday after she was ambushed. And now there's calls for her resignation, which you would expect. I don't think she should resign. I think what happened yesterday was that they were testing her. Like sometimes you see in orchestras, the conductor will come in and some of the orchestra will deliberately play a bum note to test the conductor. And she was being tested yesterday by the opposition. I was very disappointed to see that the people on the left who are normally promoting feminism and women's rights, not one of them stood by her at that moment, which was which is kind of sad, on her first day. So, your thoughts, please.
Well, the first thing I would say is that they show a complete lack of respect for the dignity of the person that's the Ceann Comhairle, whether it's male or female. And this is a lady, and come lately to education, being 11 children, and it's not always easy for families to be able to educate children when they have that number of children. But in any event, she went on at a later stage, mature lady, to do her leaving cert and then to get a degree in law. So she has to be admired for that kind of dedication to try to improve her educational situation. And she's new, I think, enough to the Dáil. I don't know if this is her first term or if she was there before, but irrespective of that, the fact is that she's the Ceann Comhairle, and the Ceann Comhairle being in the chair, it needs respect. You notice it in the British Parliament or any other parliament where they have this business of in the chair sort of thing. They sort of are shown respect. They're not shown disrespect. They try to be impartial in the way they allocate speakers. And this lady, Verona Murphy, a good Irish name, Murphy, she's, I think, new to the job, and it's an important job. And this left parties, which we say Sinn Féin and this whether social democrats or whatever they have, they espouse feminism, but when it comes to somebody that's after coming up the way Verona Murphy come up, they sing from a different hymn sheet and show complete disrespect. And I noticed when I saw it on the in the media there. That there was a man coming in the door beside where the speaker was, and I presume he was a left wing, and he was seemed to be barging her close, very close by. And I thought a complete lack of respect. Now, people vote for those people, and I don't think they vote for them because they hate Ireland or hate because, but I don't see what they contribute by way of this business of respect. I mean, that's the first requirement in any civilized society is to have respect to your opponents, providing that it's mutual. It's not just one way traffic. And there is a protocol. They used to say prayers to the Dáil in a very calm, cool manner, but apparently they rush through them there like as if they don't want to do it because of the way they operate. Now, I think it didn't do Sinn Féin and that party or the other crowd, the Boyd Barrett crowd, whatever party, the people before profit. They don't want anybody to make a profit in business, obviously. This is what they call themselves, and people vote for them. You know, I'm kind of amazed that anybody would vote for people of that caliber, quite frankly, because they seem to be have a chip on their shoulder the whole time. I mean, when you're in the Dáil, you want to show respect, don't you? And dress appropriately for the job. I noticed Boy Barrett seems to be about the worst dressed person I'd ever had the misfortune to come across. He doesn't dress properly and show respect. And the others, they don't seem to respect the important position that they have. It's not, and what happened when the Dáil had to be dismissed and then apparently Micheál Martin was become Taoiseach there today. But it was the first time it ever happened, I think, in a century. And that's a long time, isn't it? So this is the left wing parties. Thanks be to God they didn't form a government. I think Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil were only one seat short from forming a government, but that would be a very thin majority. You'd want a few because then that means anybody that becomes disaffected for one reason or another can kind of upset the whole apple cart. But now there's an independence support them, and I wonder did the independents get any ministerial or posts because they were entitled to it because other ones that supported Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil got governments in which the Green Party. So the independents are entitled to some kind of recognition for their support by way of ministerial posts, like even second, not a full minister, maybe the other sort of ministers, Minister of State. Did they get any? I wonder. Did you hear?
Not sure, but the thing is, I mean, look, yesterday's fiasco was about it was about that the TDs that were elected as part of the government, they'd be part of the government, but then they'd also have one foot in the opposition, which you couldn't really have. I mean, that's what the whole fiasco was about. But it was done very, very, very poorly. And I just thought the Verona Murphy, I thought she got a very, very hard time, and she done the best she could, and hopefully
She
they'll have
did, and
some
she
some
should.
kind of resolve.
It was a bad start is often a good end, but she knows now what she's dealing with in the lefties. So I think she does have some control and she does have some powers as being in the chair. And so I think the first thing I think I would say is that the Sinn Féin and this Democratic left and this Coppinger individual lady that was elected, she wasn't elected before, but now she's back in again and she seems to have a very anti um, position in her DNA, and they're at this business. And quite frankly, I wouldn't like to meet any of them in any social context or any business context because you can't do business with those type of people. They seem to criticise everything. And yet they didn't the Sinn Féin and that all supported abortion and all these things. So to support that kind of thing, kill of the innocent and devil knows what, and various other things, which they got a nice boot there when people voted no, but they don't seem to have learned a lesson from that. They're back in there again and sort of disrupting this, and they did a very bad job. There was it yesterday when the Dáil had to be dismissed altogether. That's no way to run anything. And I mean, they were elected by people to sort of behave themselves, weren't they? They're not elected to call all these problems and to be insulting to people, especially the chair, the lady that's occupying that now, and the youngest lady, and they deserve some sort of consideration. Instead of that, they treat her abysmally, as far as I'm concerned, and yet they treat other ones that don't do anything that merits support, whereas this lady has an important job, and this is the way they treated her. So I hope she's learned. Verona Murphy has learned a lesson from that, to know the way she's going to have to operate now when things are more normal. That these ones are not going to be dictating and bullying anybody, because
Well,
that's
I
the
think like
form, isn't
she comes from a family of 11 children. So, and she was very successful. Even at the age of 21, she had her own truck. She bought a truck. And when she was working in the UK, she was working, I think, for Vauxhall. She had two jobs, working for Vauxhall in the daytime and McDonald's at nighttime, apparently. This is what I've read about her. Um, she's a grafter. I mean, she'd done her leaving cert at 35. She wouldn't have been able to do a leaving cert with 11 children, 11 other siblings. Money
it?
would have been tight. So she's a grafter. I think she'll do okay. And fair play to her, you know.
Aye, and if you're in a member of 11 children, you have to fight your corner, food wise and every other wise. So you're not reared with a silver spoon, shall we say? And some of the ones on the left wing had silver spoons, even though they choose that way to go. One example of that, we don't hear about Democratic left. Liz McManus was her father was Dr. Timothy Driscoll, a former ambassador and the chief executive or director general of Bord Fáilte. And so she come from a very privileged family, and then married this doctor into a Workers' Party, and then Democratic left and all the rest of it. So they went kind of different than from the way they were brought up, if you get me drift. And funny enough, that marriage broke up between McManus and Liz. I like Liz, to be honest with you, but there was one thing she did, and this is an example of the left. There was lovely new bungalow or cottages built for people in Bray oh, I think it was RD Street in the Lower Dargan and in Bray. It's called the Lower Dargan. And they were very nice, but there was two at the bottom that weren't. And she was photographed in Bray, complaining about the lack of housing, standing in front of the two ones that weren't improved the way the others were. Why that happened, I don't know. Whether the people didn't want it or what, but that seemed to me manufactured. Now, if I was in politics, I would have to come out with that, but I knew that early because I did it in insurance, and I knew the people, and you couldn't ask for nicer in that particular street. But that's what she did, and that's what I think the people on the left, the truth in the full sense of the word, seems to escape them. They pick an agenda or a cause, wherever it is, that and make a mountain out of it instead of doing things in a certain respectful manner. That you can discuss things without having to be insulting people. Isn't that right? Or belittling them or bullying them.
That's it. That's it. So there you go. Everybody's entitled to a good first day, and hopefully things
Correct.
will only get better from here on in for Verona.
Well, I think they will, and we certainly wish Verona the best of health and luck. And I hope she's myself a practicing Catholic, and that's because that'll sustain you when you're being attacked,
There you
when
go.
you're being pilloried in your first day. I hope she settles down and is able to deal with what she has to contend with, especially from these lefties. They
That's
they
it.
they lack the sort of due respect that everybody's entitled to.
Thank you
They
very
have
much,
no
John.
right to do what they did.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much, Oliver. Bye.